All right, so good day, everybody. I'm so excited to be back with you. So, welcome back to the 6-week Healthy Habit Challenge series where we are committed to being fit. And I want to say that I hope you all enjoyed the holiday break. I wish you all a very happy, healthy, and successful 2020. Hard to believe we are in a new decade, but alas, here we are. And maybe you've set some new resolutions for yourself and are kind of going to keep the momentum of the first 4 weeks of our challenge going for you, and maybe set some other things that you've realized over the course of this challenge that you really could be doing better and would like to be doing better for yourself, for your family, in your work, and whatever else. So I wish you lots of success and luck there. I would love it if you would post in the Facebook group what some of your resolutions are moving forward and how the 3-week break affected you. Were you able to keep up with some or most of the habits? Of course, it was a more difficult time to do so. The holidays, there's a lot more treats around. There's a lot more parties and reasons for us to stay up late, and maybe consuming beverages that aren't quite as healthy for us, and maybe even making it more difficult to do exercise even though we are off, or maybe it made it easier for you having some time off, and etc. Those of you who did have time off, of course. So post about that, post about your successes, post about your challenges, and we can all learn from each other. I learn every day from you. And I hope that you're learning some things from myself as well as your colleagues that are in the forum. So please post about your successes and your challenges. I can't wait to hear about how it really was for you over the 3 weeks, and if the first 4 weeks helped you gain some momentum. I can tell you for myself that I did indulge a little bit over the holidays. If we just take New Year's, since it was just a few days ago, right? I certainly had, indulged in some champagne on New Year's. I did not get to sleep at 10 p.m. To get my full 8 hours of sleep. And, I ate a little bit of chocolate and at the party I was at, and just indulged in more calories than I would normally consume because I was out. But what kind of things did I do to keep myself in good shape? Well, on New Year's Eve day, that morning, I went out for my regular 5K run. I did not skip that. And through the day, I made sure that I stayed well hydrated. I drank lots of water, knowing that I would probably be consuming some alcohol in the evening. I also ate lots of fruits and vegetables and some good quality protein, right? So just to give my body the nutrition that it would need to support my then, less than healthy evening that I was going to be spending. And also the next day, what did I do? Well, I was a little more sluggish and tired, so I was aware of that. I made sure to start my day with some lemon water, and again, had lots of fruits and vegetables. I didn't go for a run on New Year's Day this year, but I did go for a nice long walk and, ate well and got right back to my healthy habits. Now, for some people, it's not so easy to get back to your healthy habits right away the next day. It may have taken you 1 or 2 days, but the idea is to kind of position yourself and have a couple of things in place so that you can feel better and that you can feel like, wow, I accomplished that. And if you didn't and you went full on off of everything for a few days or even a few weeks, no problem. That's what life is about. It happens. Just get right back to it. No beating ourselves up. We just hop back on, pull back out your fitness challenge, or get back going to that Zumba class. Make sure you consume lots of fruits and vegetables and water, and start getting back to your good sleep routines and etc. Okay, that's what this challenge is about. It's about knowing that we can sometimes slip off the grid and just know that we can get right back. Also, try not to slip totally off the grid so that, it's easier to get back to your healthy habits. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. Part of the process is really getting to know yourself and what do we need, or how do we need to set ourselves up for success in the future. Be really centered on what your individual needs are, because those are so important, and how they combine to help you achieve your own personal version of peak wellness. So do you need support, right? Or do you need accountability? And how much do you need, and how often do you need that accountability to be in place? Sometimes we just need to have a plan, some of us, that we can follow on our own. And some others of us need to know that that instructor is waiting for us at the Zumba class and is going to notice if we haven't been there for a class or two, right? Some of us need a cool water bottle on our desk, and maybe we need to change that water bottle every month, and after 4 or 5 months maybe cycle them to keep things interesting. And whatever it is that you need, I encourage you to put into place so that you can have success over the long run and keep feeling better and better about yourself, and feeling healthier and healthier and energetic, and all the other good things that go with having good healthy habits. All right, so let's move along, right? Because this week, no matter how challenging and how much you went kind of off track for the last 3 weeks, well, this week is going to be interesting, right? So I want to welcome you to our 5th healthy habit, which comes at the perfect time, right after the holidays, and it's kicking sweet treats to the curb. So if you indulged a little bit in sweet treats over the holidays, and I'll bet many of you did, this one comes at a perfect time. It's really so important to keep the excess sugar in our diets, at a reasonable level, right? It's important for our health. It's important for our well-being, our mental, our physical health. It's important for our waistlines, for our energy level, and it even has an impact on how well we sleep, some studies show. And so, it's really a good opportunity now this week to take control over your sweet cravings. And I'm so excited to be on that journey with you. In my practice, I deal with this a lot. It's one of the big things that people have the most difficulty with changing, right? Is how much sweets we're consuming, and even being aware of how much sugar that we consume in a day. And typically, for many of us, that is way too much. And so, I'm super excited over the next 7 days that we're going to work on eliminating, not all necessarily, but most of the sugar, and how that's going to have an impact on your health and well-being. Okay, just a few short days from now, I can guarantee that if you are a big sugar consumer, for the first few days you may feel a little off. You may not feel so well. It's not so easy to get off sugar, but following those first few days, you're going to feel amazing in about 5 or 6 days. Now, I want to be sure that we understand that what I'm talking about is added sugar here, all right? So I'm not talking about healthy carbs like fruits and vegetables and whole grains and yogurt, okay? So just the yogurts aren't full of sugar, of course. All those foods are full of vitamins and minerals and all kinds of nutrients that help us feel good and contribute, of course, to our health and longevity. So those sugars are all okay. What I'm talking about is those sugars, all those added sugars, right? So the added sugars that are in the Oreo cookies and in the ice creams and in the chocolate bars and the foods that you purchase out of the vending machine. All right, so we're talking about sucrose, okay, which is basically white table sugar, and high fructose corn syrup, which are in so many of the packaged foods out there, as well as the foods that are sold in the vending machines. All right, so these sugars, of course, have been shown to contribute to us having health issues, and on top of it, your body gets no nutritional benefit from eating those foods, and they're basically empty calories that aren't contributing to our health, to our energy, and to our well-being. And so those are the sugars that we want to get out. The stuff in the soda, all the added sugar that we put in our coffee and tea, and those are the sugars we're talking about, okay? So I'm not talking about a little bit of honey in your tea here and there, some maple syrup on your oats, and the blueberries, and the strawberries, and the apples, and all of that good stuff. All right, that we want to keep in. What we want to kick out is the unhealthy, super sugary cereals and cookies and candies and chocolate bars and all those things that aren't so good or contributing to our health. So I want you to also stay tuned with me, because over the next 7 days, I'm going to share a little bit of an action step you can take every day so that you can be centered on this goal of getting, all the excess sugar out of your diet. I want to say that I'm actually really so proud of so many of you for really committing to this 6-week challenge. I know it's not easy to change our habits, and a 6-week challenge is really a long time to be invested and on this track to changing habits. But it's also an amazing amount of time, because the longer you spend focusing on your health and your well-being and feeling good, the easier it will be to sustain in the long run. Change takes time. So I keep saying it over and over. Don't beat yourselves up. Just keep moving forward with it. And so this week, this sugar, you can call it a little bit of a sugar cleanse. I mean, many of you, I know the type A's will go straight in on it. And for some of you, you know what, it's going to take time, So, I've seen people do it in all kinds of ways. They go cold turkey and within 5 or 6 days, they're good, they're done. And for other people, it can really take 5 or 6 weeks. And, you could break it down by, taking the sugar out of, your breakfast, switching to a healthier breakfast alternative. And then for other people, it's really planning the snacks, right? And then at lunch, what am I going to have after lunch instead of those 2 cookies or that chocolate bar that I typically have, right? So how can I switch to something that's more healthy and might contribute more to my health and my well-being, and that maybe still has a bit of a sweet flavor? Okay, and for others, you're really going to have to think about what are you going to do after dinner when you're sitting maybe watching TV or playing games with the kids, and that's the time when you like to indulge in some sweet treats, okay? So it's going to take a little planning, it's going to take a little thinking. Let's communicate, let's chat on that message board. Get to know each other, get to know what sweet treats you like and what alternatives you're putting in. And of course, we can discuss all of the tips and tricks and other things that I'm going to share with you daily in the Facebook group. I'll try to pop in with a shorter video each day, and there'll be a little bit of maybe even a little written graphic that you can take a look at. So that's basically what I wanted to impress upon you. Here are a few things I can recommend that might help you get started, okay? Number 1, I recommend you write down your intentions for this sugar cleanse and post those intentions somewhere where you're going to see them regularly. You could post them in a journal, write them down in a journal that you might have been keeping over the course of the last weeks. You can post them on the dans le garde-manger, on your pantry, so that it reminds you, oh yeah, right, I have to choose a healthier alternative and maybe move over to the fridge and grab an apple. Okay, so write them down somewhere. That helps us, helps us keep those intentions top of mind. The other thing you can do is post in the Facebook group. How fun is that? So imagine you post, whatever you post in the Facebook group, and then, you didn't plan it out so good, and on Friday you find yourself at the vending machine, you're putting your coin in, and your colleague goes, hey, I saw what you posted in the Facebook group, right? So how fun would that be? Accountability. When we tell somebody what our intentions are, then we kind of feel like we take a little bit more ownership of them. And so how fun is that? The other thing I want you to do is really keep an open mind, and I want you to remain very conscious on what you're doing, all right? So, and what you're reaching for, all right? So could you have an apple instead of reaching for a chocolate bar, right? And let this cleanse really reveal, how much you can focus on, not so much willpower. I don't want to tell you don't have anything sweet, but maybe just alternate, what those are, right? Because sometimes the rebel in us doesn't like to be told we can't have the chocolate, right? But maybe you could have a piece of dark chocolate instead of a Kit Kat bar, or maybe you could have, like I said, a bowl of raspberries or an apple, instead of, some kind of cookies out of that vending machine. So over the next 7 days, I'll be posting once again in the Facebook group for the purpose of this challenge. What's really important, and in the portal, of course, whatever I put in the Facebook group, I will put into the portal. And I want you to know that I am here to support you 100% along the way with any questions or comments that you have. Now, for the purpose of this challenge, you are able to, if you want, to indulge in 1 sweet treat a day and then put your name in that virtual ballot box for a chance to win a prize. Some really great prizes have been going out over the last weeks, and I hope that you'll be the next winner. Okay, enjoy the sweet treats, alternate them for healthy sweet treats, right? But if you must, it's 1 Timbit, 1 small scoop of ice cream, not the whole bin, right? 1 cookie, okay? Try to keep those sweet treats down to a minimum. In your coffee, maybe instead put a little bit of honey instead of table sugar, and try to sub out that Frappuccino for maybe a cup of green tea to give you a little boost in the afternoon. And that's basically what we're working on this week. So I do promise if you do engage that you will reap the benefits. There is no doubt in my mind, even though the first days may prove to be difficult. And if it does take you 5 or 6 weeks or even 5 or 6 years, that's okay. The idea is to keep plugging forward step by step. If you need support, if you have questions, you have comments, please connect with me in the Facebook group. If you're not on Facebook, you're welcome to pop me an email. And that's it. So I wish you a great week on the sugar cleanse, and I will look forward to connecting with you guys. See you tomorrow.